Hello my lovelies, welcome back to this fragrance channel. Today we're discussing gourmand scents and I tried to make this list a bit not basic. I didn't just want to go to the tried and tested, like the ones that everybody would probably think if they thought what's the best gourmand fragrance. I tried to just give you a little bit of a twist because if you watch this channel, I talk about tons of different scents, and if you are a gourmand lover, this is the place for you because I'm also a gourmand lover, so I quite often mention gourmand scents. Now let's start this list with one of my favorite gourmands, and it is Absolute Aphrodisiac from Initio. This bottle, I have a thing for bottles, okay? The texture of Initio bottles, it's so interesting and just makes me want to spray their fragrances. The scent itself, it's phenomenal. It's this simple on the surface vanilla, I would say, but to me this is a bit of a boozy, slightly coffee infused vanilla, which is not listed in the notes, but this is what I smell. I get a little bit of this like musky vanilla. It's very soft and calming and just a bit like vanilla sugar. It's smooth, it's a bit animalic, but not too animalic. It's just the right amount to make it a bit more sexy, a bit more mysterious. This is an absolutely beautiful scent. To me, it gets better with time. The more that it melts into the skin, the better it is. And it must be like the animalic note in here. It really just brings out this like seductive, nice vanilla scent. It's just so delicious, so gourmand. Like I want to just eat a dessert that smells like this. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I sometimes love complicated scents, but sometimes the ones that are just beautiful in their simplicity, they are the ones that absolutely work and are like a piece of art. Sometimes a piece of art is very simple, but a lot of people love it. And I feel like this is what this fragrance is for me. Next up, we've got a scent that is just addictive. I love coffee. Unfortunately, I had to cut out caffeine out of my life, but I'm not cutting out coffee. So I drink coffee for the love of the taste of coffee, not actually for the kick of caffeine. And this is why this fragrance is so magical. Private Talk from Valentino. This scent is my, I would say like, oh, it's hard because I've got a couple of favorites from the line, but Private Talk is at the top because it's got an incredible cappuccino accord. Oh my gosh, it's a creamy but still fresh tuberose with a cappuccino accord, and this cappuccino accord, I'm telling you, it's to die for if you love coffee, if you like really interesting modern take on scents, because tuberose, I would say it's quite a classic note, but with this cappuccino it really makes it so interesting, so creamy and just delicious. It really smells like cappuccino. It's quite literal, but with the tuberose you get this amazing fragrance, this high-end fragrance smell. Absolutely delicious, gourmand, and something that is truly, like, to me, perfumery is an art, and I rarely find something that I'm thrown for a loop. Is that the saying? Like, I'm like, oh, I didn't expect this, because I have smelled so many scents, and this is something that I didn't expect, and I love the scent. Next up, we've got a vanilla scent, and this one I've added into the list because it's very new in my collection, but I thought this is not going to be a boring list. I love discussing new fragrances with you and fragrances that are a bit different because we're all looking for something a bit different to smell unique. And this is vanilla powder from Matiere Premiere, and this is not what I expected when I read the name of the scent. I thought vanilla powder, it's going to be like this sugar cookie sort of a vanilla, Kinder Egg vanilla, but it's not. It's more of this coconutty white, very intensely white floral vanilla, almost like Alien by Mugler. And then you put loads of like coconut and sugar that is more woody than powdery to my nose. It's very different, intriguing, very piercing as well. It's very strong. It also smells a bit salty to me, a bit like Olympia from Paco Rabanne, which I love Olympia from Paco Rabanne. So that is why I must love this. So this is not your typical syrupy vanilla. This is very much of a woody, intense, slightly salty, white floral, very seductive vanilla, like almost trying too hard, but yet I love it because it's something that is almost like putting on a different persona. Like if you want to just feel completely different than you're feeling, or your personality, you want to try and be a bit different and have fun, this is almost like putting on this like mask of who you want to be and just having a lot of fun. So this is a very unusual fragrance. I think it's totally worth testing out. Let me know if you've tested it. What do you think about this? Because I get a feeling that this would be like a love or hate fragrance. Next up, a delicious gourmand. It is Reckless from Roja Parfum. This is their Essence. They've got now new bottles, but I've got the old bottle. So this scent is a marshmallowy, beautiful, pillowy, soft, a bit a lot floral with some greenery in there. This is, if you imagine like this pretty lovely princess that is just falling asleep on a bed of roses and florals, and everything is just perfect for her in like a Disney movie. This is this fragrance. This is the perfect life. It's just a happy ending. It's got some lovely like zesty citruses in there that makes this fragrance even better. It's almost like, you know, sometimes on donuts, especially in Europe, you get this sugary orange zest on top. This is what you get in there as well, and it's absolutely delicious. So it's like bakery, soft white florals. It's just heaven. I'm telling you, try it out. But it's not screaming at you, which I love, because you can wear this sort of gourmand on an everyday basis and not smell too sweet. So yeah, if you're looking for something like this, go get it, go get it. Next up, we've got a fragrance that is also a newer release, and it is Story of Your Life from Etat Libre d'Orange. Oh, it's got even an expiry date on the bottle. I've never seen that on a fragrance. Interesting. So they're giving it 5 years. Interesting. I'll let you know in 5 years if it's still good, because I don't believe really in fragrances expiring, especially fragrances like this. They get better with age, but we'll see. Oh, this is so good. You know, I forget sometimes about how great fragrances are. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely delicious. Typical gourmand on this list so far. This is a very chocolatey, almost like a bread dessert, like brioche dessert, and chocolate, marshmallows, a bit of patchouli. It's so yummy, delicious. It smells like fall to me, very ambery, warm, a bit of spiciness in there. This is absolutely to die for. It's so good. It reminds me a little bit of Fève Délicieuse from Christian Dior, which is now discontinued. So if you've maybe run out or you've never smelled that fragrance, this scent is one of the closest ones that I've found that gives you that warm, ambery chocolatiness, but I would say this is a bit even more chocolatey, even more gourmand than Fève Délicieuse in a certain way. So try this out. But this, I've also, I think it's on Twisted Lily, and I've got a discount code for Twisted Lily, so check it out. And sometimes Twisted Lily allows you to buy samples as well on their website now, so try it out. But this is magic. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I've worn it a couple of times already this season. Next up, we've got this gourmand. I wanted to put Flower Bomb on this list, but I thought Flower Bomb, like, it's expected. Let's do a little bit of a twist, and I've put a Flower Bomb Ruby Orchid on this list because I would say that this is a bit more gourmand than Flower Bomb. And it's hard to get more gourmand than Flower Bomb, but I'm telling you, this scent has got that Flower Bomb base. You've got the lovely florals, but also the sprinkling of the sugar and the cotton candy, sort of a just light sugary smell. But then it's also got a bit of this zestiness that I mentioned in a different fragrance, and also a bit more of the white florals in here that make this fragrance really just even more creamy, even more delicious. This is such a good fragrance. It's a bit less powerful than Flower Bomb, but for Gourmand, I would say that this is a bit more unique than Flower Bomb. And this was my first love. Actually, this was my first Flower Bomb before I even got the original Flower Bomb, because I just love this so much. And you can always layer Flower Bomb with Flower Bomb Ruby Orchid. I would also recommend that just to give it that additional gourmand creaminess. But this is so addictive. I'm telling you, if you're a gourmand lover, you have to try out this version of Flower Bomb. Next up, we've got a Kylie fragrance, and here I would say Kayali is one of the fragrances to go for if you're going for gourmand scents. And I would mention two fragrances here from Kayali. The first one, Vanilla Candy. This scent, it's such a fun one. It's just sweet caramel, bubblegum, a bit of like violet, and a bit of woodiness, but it's also got a bit of freshness in here, so it never gets too much, which I love it. It gives it like a rest from the gourmand, because you get this like almost like a cucumber sort of a freshness. Absolutely love it. It says here rock sugar, vanilla cream, white caramel, bubblegum, sweet violet, candied pear. This is what this fragrance is. It's absolutely fun, joyous, just gourmand. Spray tons of it on you and just enjoy how strong it smells. Absolutely love it. Another favorite from Kayali for me is the pistachio scent. Oh my gosh, I really want it in my collection. It makes my mouth water. It's so creamy. It just smells like pistachio ice cream, and pistachio and vanilla are two of my favorite flavors for when I get like the ice cream from, like, I don't know what you call it, like from a gelato place. That is what I choose. If you want something like this, the pistachio scent, I also will link it down below. Mind-blowingly good. Next up, we've got, I had to put Burberry Elixir on this list. It's just so fun. I always tell you that this is just a sweet to fake sort of a fragrance. You've got marshmallows, you've got cotton candy, you've got all the pastries, you've got some raspberries with loads of caramel on them. This is so sugary sweet, but it's also like pillowy soft, a bit like a sugar rush, almost like you just feel like you're getting a sugar rush when you smell this. This is not for the faint of heart. You have to absolutely love sweet, fun, sugary scents. I sometimes love wearing it. Sometimes I apply it and I'm like, this was a bad decision because I'm not in the mood for it. So this for me is like, I have to be in the mood for it, but you might totally be into scents like this. And most people are. I'm just a weird one that sometimes it's like, bit too sweet, but I love gourmands in general, and I think this is such a fun one. My husband always says that this fragrance is like super sexy to him. Do with that what you will. Next up with gourmands, this is a fun one. This is a fragrance that I've put in here because I find, you know, you don't find many gourmand fragrances like this. This is not a fragrance that you'll just find mentioned everywhere, and it is Pantheon Roma, and it's Dolce Passione. This Italian brand makes such fun fragrances. This one in particular smells like Ferrero Rocher chocolates. Literally nothing less, nothing more. It is that, and it is super fun. When I was showing it to my husband, he was like, no, like this, like who would want to smell like this? I want to smell like this. Like I've got sometimes moods for this fragrance and I want to smell like Ferrero Rocher. It is so delicious. It's chocolatey, it's hazelnuts, it's everything I want. Sometimes this is what we want girls to smell like this. So it just depends whether this is your sort of a fragrance. But if you love Ferrero Rocher sweets, maybe you've always wondered like, oh, I just want a fragrance that smells like that. This is your fragrance, and this is that. Literally, we just captured those sweets in a bottle. It's absolutely delicious, and I love it. Next up, we've got a lovely cashmere sort of a fragrance. It's called Mercurial Ashmere, and it's I would say a very soft vanilla with a bit of tuberose in here, a bit of a nice gentle iris. It's also quite fizzy at the top. I almost think like Sprite-like fizziness, which I find very fun for this fragrance. And it's just creamy, delicious, caramelly, but not overtly syrupy so that it dies on the contact of the skin, because some caramel fragrances, they just have no sillage. This has very nice sillage. It's one of those vanillas that are very unusual. It's gourmand, but it's not a basic vanilla. It's not just cookies and cream. It's not that. It's not just vanilla sugar. There's something a bit more in there. As I've said, like the iris in here, it's whispers. It's such a gentle iris, and the tuberose, it's nicely in there, incorporated, and makes this fragrance slightly more, I would say, green almost. Like it's got this nice natural smell. It's absolutely beautiful. Such an elegant vanilla, I would say. So if you want something just very unique, very niche vanilla, this is very good. And another strong gourmand fragrance, it's Valentino Dona, born in Roma, Intense. This scent is a dirty, I would say, vanilla. It's a cotton candy, strong vanilla scent. You can't miss it for the world. It's a bit bubblegummy, it's fun, it's joyous. The vanilla in here, it's dirty, it's animalic. It's that vanilla, you know, from for example, like Lush Vanillary had that. It still has, I think it's still going, that fragrance, but it's got that animalic vanilla scent. It's not like a pretty vanilla, it's very animalic and dirty. The base of the vanilla in here reminds me a lot of Lush Vanillary, but with a bit of more fruitiness at the top, a bit more going on in here. It's not as linear as Lush Vanillary, and I love it for that. It's a powerhouse, it's a beast, it's a nice designer gourmand that packs a punch. And my dog is looking at me like, when are you going to stop talking, because he probably wants food. There's so many more gourmands that I love and I could talk about for days, so I might do a part 2. But if you are a gourmand lover, this is the channel for you, because I talk about them continuously. So you're in the right place. I'll link all of these in the description, and any samples I can find for them. I always link some discounts, and this is probably the best season to buy fragrances, because there's loads of like Black Friday, like anniversary sales and loads of that. So I'm always now just looking and trying to get the best discounts for you. I never know if you want me to do like a roundup for Black Friday, for example, like best deals. Let me know if this is something that I could do for you. I could almost like email retailers, and probably because I do this YouTube thing, they would respond to me with the details of what the offers are beforehand. I could try to do that for you, but let me know if this is something you'd be interested in, because I don't think I've ever done that on this channel, but I got a few comments recently, so just confirm if you want it, like confirm in the comments of this video, and I'll do my best to do this for you. Love you, and thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.